Hello everybody, we got Austria's big bore from 1986, the KTM 500. You can tell this is a pretty low hours machine just based off of it having all the original decals and seat cover. It's got an original tool bag from KTM, mounted on a Cherbis fenders from the factory. They're still basically the NOST fenders that a Cherbis still produces to this day. Featuring the WP rear shock with their pro lever that finally had the linkage rates all figured out. They kind of got that sorted more in 1985. Now for 1986, it's got that disc rear brake on it. Everybody likes that because the drum was a little touchy on the older machine. Little tiny foot pegs, kind of very reminiscent of like 1979, 1980 RM. A little tiny brake on it so it doesn't catch on anything. But an absolutely terrific power plant. Look how pretty that cylinder and head is, even being a water cooler. Nice lightened out clutch arm. The magnesium bin carb on these machines is a real work of art. This bike is jetted to such a high quality that it revs faster and revs smoother than any of my fuel injected bikes that I have. It does better than any of my carbureted bikes. This bike is just so spot on with that jetting. Pretty early model to still have those upside down front forks on them. I think KTM went to those in 1984 because I had one of those 495s that had them. Front disc brake as well. Another look at one of those Cherbis NOST style fenders. It's slightly different, but pretty close to get a reproduction today. Magura controls that are gorgeous. I'm actually going to do a window delete on that master cylinder when I rebuild it. I think it'll be a little trick thing to do. Mounted on aluminum handlebars. That was really high tech for the 1980s to come with that stock. And if you look at how these handlebars mount, those top triple trees, they brace them. That looks so modern. Everything this machine was doing was really ahead of the time. And a lot of the magazines actually had this bike weighing in at less than CR500 and dynoing at more. Now, I haven't got to put enough time on to see if that's truly the case, because the short rod CR500 motors are just absolutely phenomenal. Not to say that KX and YZ490 don't make a good amount of power too. I mean, all the open classers probably have more than any of us mortals can actually use, but this KTM seemed very crisp, and I'm hoping that it can at least be close to that CR500 style power, those short rod motors. It suffered the same problem as those, where it had the magnesium water pump. Really is a shame. It corroded a lot of those machines over the years, just like this one. I've got a replacement cover that I'm going to put on it. At the same time, I can tell that after I started it and I did a little lap on it, either the Kickstarter stop was broken inside the casing, or it kind of seemed like it might have been also like the bearing on the auxiliary shaft or main shaft of the transmission had a little bit of an issue. Well, that's why I haven't got to test this bike too much, but I really have high hopes for it. The nice thing about these bikes is that the clutch pull is just so nice, and the fact that for an open classer, these motors really don't beat you up too much. I could tell just from how it was running, even with cracked casings like that, it was still running like a Cadillac. It was just so darn smooth. And I had a lot of the 250s from the same year, and they're the same way. They might not make a lot of power for those 250s, but darn are they smooth. They're some of the nicest bikes I've ever ridden. Plus, it's just gorgeous. With those Maguras, it still feels like an old world European bike. pipe protector on it. Well, if you guys want to see this bike once I finish it up and it's in action, just subscribe to this channel and we'll show you those videos soon enough.